Hello, two heads up here. Welcome to another one of my discussions. This time it's on the old school poll, I guess number 12. It is on a variety of new things, but the highlight of this poll is the new agility course, or courses, which is called Rooftop Agility. And it's actually seems like a pretty big update, even though it seems like it's a pretty simple thing to do. Reuse existing, towns to make an agility course in Runescape. So that's pretty good. So what's the extent of this update? You can read it in the development blog. All you got to do is search the threads. That's search threads, not quick find code. Search threads for rooftop, and it's the first result. It's a mod sticky. Um, Let me check on my guy real quick. Okay, switch to the Guthans. So, what are the rewards of this? You get this agility gear, like full decked out agility gear, which gives a ton of weight reduction bonus. So, I don't know if this gear is going to be able to be used on Intrana for law rune crafting or whatever. It seems like it's going to be pretty useful, and it doesn't seem like it would really hurt the game at all. And it's a great update, so I'm definitely voting yes. I'm all in favor for this new content. So that's a yes for question 1. Question 2 is pretty simple, allowing you to keep your doors open when you leave your house. It's pretty annoying having to open your doors over and over again, especially if you got a lot of rooms. So I voted yes for this one. The kick option. I used to host house parties a lot, so there were a few people that would troll other people by closing the doors. That's another thing about question 2. People will close doors on purpose. So just to troll with people that are doing bones and to train their prayer. So it's also nice to have a quick kick option. Before, you would have to have them on your ignore list to kick everyone from the house, and then people on your ignore list can't get in your house. But you couldn't physically kick them out of the house without kicking everyone else out. So that was a huge downside, but that'll fix that. Question 3 will. Smoke changed to green. They talked about this in a live stream. 3 mods. So to make the smoke more visible, yep, doesn't really harm the game. Burners will go out immediately if you leave the house unattended. So I've hosted my house before. I've hosted my altar, and I don't see why I would vote yes for this one, because I do have to go to the bank to get some more Marintils, and it's nice if the burners are still lit. Sometimes they go out right when I get there, but it would be annoying to have to relight my burners every single time I go into my house. So no, I'm voting no for that one. So here's another big content of this poll. The Staff of the Dead. The Staff of the Dead special attack will be prevented in the duel arena if magic is forbidden. Voting yes for this one. I don't stake, really, but I can imagine the frustration of people with the Staff of the Dead. The Staff of the Dead is like this new... It's the Staff of Light all over again in the staking world. So they're just trying to remove it. No one really likes the Staff of the Dead staking. Everyone loves the DDS stake. So this will bring back DDS staking for all you staking addicts. So I'm voting yes for this one. Staff of the Dead auto cast menu will have Flames of Zamrock added. Absolutely. So if we're going to take away something like that from the Staff of the Dead, it'd be nice to make it more useful for something else. And so if it could auto-cast Flames of Zamrock, that means you can actually take it to DKs, you can take it to Rex. And instead of hitting 30s with a Void Mace and Claws of Guthix, auto-casting Claws of Guthix, you can hit 34s with Flames of Zamrock, as long as you're wearing a Zammy cape with charge and all that. And it'll be more accurate than a Void Mace. But there's always a downside. So what's the downside? Void Mace is a 5 prayer bonus. I think a Staff of the Dead has 2 or 0 prayer bonus. So that's the downside. But it has a plus 17 magic attack and that magic damage boost. So you'll get faster Rex kills. And on top of this, I talked about it earlier in my God Wars Weapons discussion video. On top of this, the Flames Zamrock spell is much cheaper to cast than the Claws of Guthic spell, because Flames Zamrock uses 4 fire runes and 1 air rune, while Claws of Guthic uses 4 air runes and 1 fire rune. So using fire runes in place of air runes will save you tons of money, especially if you're at DKs. And we all know how much money claw majors spend at DKs, even with blood runes down. It's always a good, depending on how long you're down there, a good 700k, 800k. Here's another big update. So God Swords have no stab attack bonus, but they have stab as their accurate combat style, which is the accurate style trains attack also. And so this question is, if you say yes, it would change this stab bonus to a crush. Godsword gives a 105 crush bonus. So changing this to crush would make the accurate attack actually hit relatively. Their idea of changing to crush rather than slash is they don't want the accurate style of the Godsword to be so accurate, like to just hit 55, 55 over and over again to constantly hit. I guess that's their logic behind it. So if they change it to crush, yeah, it would actually make it possible to train attack with the Godsword. But it wouldn't make it so accurate that you could combo your opponent out with, no matter if they were eating the whole time or not. So Godswords I've gotten a lot of questions about this stab attack bonus for the accurate attack style. And it's always been like this, believe it or not. And Mod Ash has confirmed that. So this is, I'm voting yes for this one. It's a great idea. They should have never made it a stab bonus in the first place. Or they should have given the Godsword some stab bonus, if they wanted to have the accurate style stab. So I'm glad that they took this into consideration. Maybe it'll help Godswords from crashing so much. I will definitely use the crush option at God Wars and when I use my ZGS at God Wars from now on, because I'm kind of wasting XP training strength. So I voted yes for that one. I recommend you do as well. Monk robes would be counted as Saradomin items. I voted no for this one because monk robes aren't really Saradomin items, and if you voted yes for these, then it would completely crash the prices of everything else used as a Saradomin item, like Saradomin Dragonhide, Saradomin Rune Armor. If you could use monk robes in place of this to camp mages, all of those other Sarah items would crash. So, and they aren't really a Sarah item, they're just monk robes. So I voted no for this one. That's not really a huge deal if it passes or not. If you try and dismantle Godsword, a pop-up will confirm that you want to do this. The reason for this question is, so you go to your AGS switch, or AGS switch or Godsword switch, and you accidentally, instead of clicking equip, you click dismantle. So that's a big downer when you have this Godsword right-clicked and you're waiting to click the special bar. We'll click equip and then the special bar. You accidentally click dismantle and then it just fucks up your special attack for the KO. So doing this will kind of help solve that. You just press no quickly and press your special attack bar rather than just disassembling your Godsword and completely failing. And finally, question 11, which I think is pretty ironic in itself. A skill total of 280 will be required to vote in future polls. This prevents mass account making and voting, or bot voting, really, essentially. Uh, so those, whenever a poll question comes out that's really not in favor for bots, things like extra secondary herb ingredients in Nightmare Zone offered as rewards, that's very unfavorable to botters. So it is in their own best interests that they mass votes together with bots, with their own bots, and vote no on that, so their items that they're botting don't crash. And anything that harms botting in general, um, they can just mass bot no and not pass whatever update is being intended to stop botting. So with the skill total of 280, that kind of stops that, because accounts need to be trained somewhat up. You can't just make a level 3 account and use it to vote. It has to have some kind of experience in RuneScape, in order to vote. It's kind of like you have to be 18 now to vote. You have to have some kind of life experience to vote, in the States anyway. So I'm voting yes for this one, but the irony of this question is botters will be like, oh fuck, and gold farmers would be like, oh fuck, this is like the worst possible poll question. I'm mass voting no with my bots. So I would be very surprised if question 11 passes. And this is the type of question that they really shouldn't even poll in the first place, that they should just introduce the game without even leaving it up to the players. This is just one of those things that people that don't bot know would be awesome for the game, and would combat botting so much. But when they allow botters, or terms of service violators, to vote, then it just kind of goes against the best interests of the entire RuneScape community. So let's see how the results end up. Looks like Agility Rooftops passing. All the player-owned house things are passing, except for this. Burners will go out immediately. Staff of the Dead special attack is passing. Flames of Zamrock spell is passing. Yes, that's a good one. The accurate attack for the Godsword is passing. All this is passing, and oh my god, yes, will be so good for the game. A skill total of 280 is required to vote in future polls. This is passing, thank God. And if you haven't voted yet, please vote in this poll. It's very important to pass this. This will really ultimately shape RuneScape altogether. It would really get rid of the bot voters, which will greatly help the community in future polls. So definitely vote in this poll, guys. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I know this was kind of a long discussion. I just wanted to be as thorough as possible. And if you want to check out this agility content poll in question 1, just search the threads on the RS forums for Rooftop, and it is the first result. It is a mod sticky. Thanks again for watching. If this was helpful and informative, please leave a like, and I'll see you guys next time.